Want to cue your call up for the next segment. We'll stay with the calls. It's Rapid Fire Friday. We're going to take as many as we can right after our special guest. By the way, all the markets in positive territory. The Dow's up 104. Obviously, they're feeling like the Fed is going to make a move to trash the dollar or do quantitative easing. So obviously, the market's up. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But right now, I've got a special guest, Burgess Owens. Some of you, I know we've got a lot of football fans that know Burgess Owens. He played in the NFL for about 10 years. Burgess, welcome. You've got a new book out. I'm excited about. And I need to tell you, Burgess, I am from Philadelphia, born and raised. So, and I'm here in Philadelphia. And I was thinking, do I want to talk about the fact that he's won a Super Bowl? Because, well, you know why, right?
Yeah, let me just say, Dan, I've lived here in the Philadelphia area now for the last 18 years, and I've amended my ways. I'm actually a Philadelphia fan. Of course, Raider fan still also, but I have hope for those Eagles for sure. So we're on the same team in that area.
Good. I appreciate that. I think based on what I know about you and your book, we're on the same team in a lot of areas. And I sure appreciate what you're doing. You've got a book out that I need to tell everybody before we even get started. Folks, this is a book that it's an ebook. You can get it at Amazon, on the Nook or other places where you can download an ebook. And it's called It's All About Team: Exposing the Black Talented 10th. I'm not sure what that means, but we're going to find out. But I have had the opportunity. Now I've got to be honest with you, Burgess. I've not read the whole thing because I just got it. I started reading it last night on a plane and read some more this morning. But, man, I really loved what I read. I particularly loved Chapter 3 and talking about socialism versus capitalism. But tell us about the premise of the book.
Okay. Well, first of all, I grew up in an era that I'm so proud to have grown up in. I look back on it. It was actually in the 50s and 60s when there was a segregated South. And I had a chance to see great examples of men and women, parents and coaches and teachers who expected the very best of us. So the book is a celebration, first of all, of a race that 4 decades after slavery was the truest example of free enterprise and the American dream that I could ever speak to. We were in the 1900s developing millionaires. We had capitalism going everywhere. We had colleges like Tuskegee and across the board, major universities being developed and built for our race. We had Booker T. Washington, who was visiting and advising the President of the United States, President Roosevelt at the time. We were the next major race to be dealt with because we were moving so strongly into self-sufficiency and independence and just pride in race. And then there was a group. The Talented 10th is a very interesting group and a very group that needs to be called out. It was termed by W.E. Du Bois. He was a black the first Harvard grad. He was a socialist. He was an elitist. He literally believed that genetically there are some in his race, those that had European features, straight hair, that were very articulate, that were more superior than the masses. and his actions proved it. He was the face of the NAACP. Now, NAACP, people don't realize, was a white organization initially. Mm-hmm. It was 19 white wealthy socialists, and W. Du Bois was the face of that organization. And their message for the last 20 years was anti-capitalism, to undermine Booker T. Washington and what his purpose was. So it's a celebration of the greatness of a race. What happened to at that point, why it's now the American nightmare, and why the socialists and liberals have done that and how they've done it, and our solutions. And our solutions are the black middle class, which will come around very strongly over the next 4 to 8 years and will be the solution to our problems.
Hmm. And so where did things go wrong for the black community?
We were at a crossroads back in 1900s, the same crossroad that our great country is today. We could continue the road of capitalism, of self-sufficiency, of looking at ourselves and being proud of our progress, or we can go the route of the socialists, which is unionization and trying to and convincing us through integration, number one, that our product and our presence wasn't really that strong, and we need to take part of another race's presence and product and success. They also, part of what W. Du Bois did, because he again was the face of this ideology, he was on the board of Margaret Sanger's Planned Parenthood, one of the first, in which she then used him and other professionals like him to get into the black community in 1910. So abortion was introduced to the black community through the Black Talent Tent. Where we've gone wrong is that we don't need leaders. We don't need the socialists, the liberals, like your Sharptons and your Jacksons and your NAACP, to voice the opinion and the direction of our race. We need to have very successful capitalists, folks to go back to our communities and help our kids to educate themselves and develop an ideal of the American dream of independence. So we have a way to go, but again, the voices like myself are out there among other Americans, and all we have to do is begin to listen and see where we've gone and where we've been directed by this other side.
You know, I'm seeing more and more and hearing and talking with more and more black conservatives, and it's encouraging to me. My son-in-law, who's African American, who's black, from Indiana, and he's very conservative, extremely conservative. A man of God, a wonderful man, and love him like a son. But my heart aches for him sometime as he takes the criticism of even his family, as he would, support Mitt Romney or, talk and his attitude. He was a Division I ball player and, has that work ethic and mentality that, look, it's about hard work, and what kind of encouragement would you give to the black conservatives out there that struggle with that?
Well, first of all, that you're not alone. I think the greatest present that President Obama has given us, is that he's in-your-face liberal. He's in-your-face socialist. He has given the American people and the black race an example of how it really feels and looks, and the hopelessness that comes with it. So the great thing about that, we now have this conversation we never had before. It was always hypothetical in the past. Well, now we can talk about a truly failed policy that's always been whenever liberalism has been in the forefront. So we can talk about it. And the great thing, too, is, and this is very important to understand, my family is still very liberal. We love each other. We have some of the most greatest spirited debates. But you know what we never do? We never, ever demean our success of each other. We never do that. Why? Because we're taught to understand what success means, how to get there, and to respect it. We will never allow another race to demean the success of our race. But we have the talent tent that does it every single time with a wink and a nod. What white liberals can't say, they allow their black liberals to do the same. And they all kind of, give themselves a wink and a nod as they call us house niggers and Uncle Toms and porch monkeys, things that stream out of the black pundits' lips that will never come out of white liberal lips, but they believe the same thing, and that's why they support each other. That's why you can have the statements that have been made throughout the years, whether it be Condi Rice or whether it be Clarence Thomas, and they get away with it because we don't have the people who believe in race first. They believe in ideology and self, and they're paid very well to do so. So what I believe is this: you have the boldness of black conservatives who could care less about what we're called, because we care first about our country, our race, and our families. And you have people like that are bold enough to do that. The message will come out clear, and we'll get people to think. And once they're thinking, liberals have a hard time to continue to win their cause.
Mm. I once had a congressman, a black congressman, a couple years ago, and I asked him, can he tell me one thing that the Congressional Black Caucus has done for the black genocide that has been going on in inner cities for so many years, or what they've done to truly help the destruction of the families in the inner city. What have they done for black America? And of course, he pointed out all kinds of things that were totally unrelated, and we got into a little bit of a heated discussion because I said, what you're saying is you haven't done anything. and yet you hold this organization out as help, and I haven't seen it. I don't see it. I don't see where it is. Am I way off base on that?
No, you're right on point. You're right on point, and that's why I say the black middle class that understands what it takes to work hard, that work hard to put their kids in college, and have an empathy for those who in the urban community that want the parents who want their kids to have the same opportunity. That is the class that's going to wake up and understand what these elitists have done to us. Whether it be abortion, which they could care less, they have no limitation on how many black babies are being killed every single year because the liberal establishment would love to have that. That's the Margaret Sanger beginning. It's a racist, eugenic beginning. You have minimum wage, which has been proven over and over again to hurt the black teenager first because it empowers the labor unions, but also takes away the unskilled labor. You're looking at education. Of course, the labor unions benefit when there's no choice. Parents who want to give their kids a chance to get out and build their own future is being stopped by the same people that's supposed to be supporting us. The Davis-Bacon Act, which is back in 1931, which allowed the unions to take over businesses in the black community and push the black entrepreneur out. These are things that are still supported by these same group, and I call them traitors. You want to know the truth? They're the ones that stand, get very wealthy, get very prominent, get all the great MSNBC opportunities to get on TV and show their face and show their intelligence. They've traded on their race, the future that we all should have by having freedom, opportunity, and a belief, like I was taught of, that I could overcome anything. I had the highest expectations for my segregated community. And when I left there to go out to the University of Miami, to go to my high school, to integrate that in school, I believed that I could overcome anything because my parents, my teachers, my environment taught me so. These talented tenth are not doing it. They are the enemy. They are the enemy. And once the Americans and the black community wakes up to see that, I think there's going to be quite a reckoning to come to. So I hope everybody picks up that book.
Tell us how to get it. It's all about what? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
It's all about team, exposing the balance of the black talented tenth. The team of liberals, socialists, and the black talented tenth is one side. The team of Americans, black and white, who believes in freedom, opportunity, and the greatness of what we have, that's the other team. And our team will win out. And if you read the chapter that talks about the 13th season, I talk about losing for 12 seasons before getting to the Super Bowl. But everything was worth it because as you continue to pay the price and know you continue to do what's right, eventually the law seed harvest comes your way. America's going to experience their 13th season real soon, and we're doing it because of what has been done to us, and we're finally waking up because of a president who has no clue about what makes our country great.
I agree, and this is a president that I believe God has sent to wake us up. He's done it. He's woke up a sleeping giant. I hope things change. Tell us how to get the book. It's all about team. It's all about team. It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble's. The ebook now. I'm looking to put it out and print at some point. It is a good read because it talks about our country. It talks about things we all relate to: struggle, the prize of overcoming, and more importantly, it's an education to America, to the greatness of the black race, and the greatness it will one day experience again once the black middle class, not the government, not our white friends, the black middle class will be the solutions to our issues. And we're going to do that. And we're going to one day have our 13th season and push these talent tenths where they belong to the side. Amen. And this is not a book just for Black America, folks. This is a book that everybody has to read, and you absolutely have to recommend it and pass it along and tell folks they've got to download this book. It is something that we just need in this country more today than at any other time in our history. And Burgess Owens, I sure appreciate you writing the book and your words. I know you're a man of God. I thank you for that. And just pray all God's blessings for you, and I hope you'll come back. And thank you for living in the great city of Philadelphia.
Thank you, Dan. And just know that we're a part of a great time in our history, so we're blessed to be at this time to help our country come from the best. Thank you so much.
Amen. God bless you, Burgess. Thank you.